was ordained in June the 15th of 1965, so that would have made me 33 years old. In Spokane, Washington, St. Aloysius Church in Spokane, Washington, the Jesuit church, parish church on the campus of Gonzaga University. No, I really can't, because it's more than 50 years ago, and I couldn't probably, I was so tired, we were all so tired and keyed up at the same time. I probably could not really tell you too much about the ceremony 2 weeks after it happened. But we know, we had done rehearsals and all that sort of thing, so we knew that when Bishop Topol, he was the uncle of one of my classmates actually, Bishop of Spokane, of course, former professor at Carroll College and things like that. But he was very slow, very deliberate. There were 14 of us at that time being ordained. Took roughly almost 3 hours. Well, this was all our theology and everything like that. The philosophy studies in Spokane, the theology in Toronto. I did, part of my class was, we split. Roughly half went to Alma College in California. That's now Berkeley. That's at Berkeley now, or Santa Clara. I'm a little confused on that recently. And so we were, and the rest of us were in Toronto. So, but there's 4 years there, 62 to 66. We were ordained so we were ordained deacons only about 10 days before we were ordained priests. Now it's more like 8 or 10 months between the two. At that time, yes, everything was in Latin. So the ceremony was in Latin, except of course the way that in the various readings and things like that, so you could have readings and stuff. No, I was the English liturgy that we recognize today, that was just recently changed again a little bit 3 or 4 years ago. But that was, I was ordained maybe not quite a year before that change from Latin to English was completed. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know for sure. And then it came in steps. But no, the actual ceremony, yes, everything, and of course all the sacraments, the confession, obviously the person spoke English to me, and so on, but the actual conferring of the absolution would be in Latin. Even when the Mass changed to English, for several months, 3, 4, 5, whatever, we changed, kept the consecration in Latin. And then we finally, somebody decided that was not really working out very well. So so the whole Mass was in Latin. I could still probably say a Mass in Latin. But there's been no reason to do that. I mean, there's a group that still does that. That says Mass. I'm not sure exactly whereabouts in Portland it is, but there is a Latin Mass somewhere here in Portland, maybe more than one. There's some people nowadays ordained to say Mass only in Latin. But that was really a big breakthrough.
Yeah.
So from the Latin Mass and the Latin sacraments, extreme unction, or what we call the Sacrament of the Sick would be in Latin. It had a Latin formula, and so on. So those sacraments are all now said in the vernacular, in the English language. We would, and that's to me, that's been the major change, which is to the good. People understand and know what's going on. Okay, that is part of holy orders, but so when a person is ordained to the diaconate, he is a deacon. I don't know if you remember, Mr. Couture came through here first as a deacon when he came to do that Christmas liturgy. He was not able to say Mass at that time. Then he comes back last summer after he's ordained and says Mass. He's ordained, but we were, and the change, there's a change there too, of course. When we were going through the training, I was a deacon for maybe 2 weeks. People wanted to do it back for a year. Didn't make any difference to me one way or the other. But nowadays, yes, you are ordained a deacon, and you're still down there in Berkeley or wherever you are for your training and your studying and all that sort of thing. But you're allowed to do certain things. A deacon, for example, can be a witness at a wedding. A deacon can, because the priest, neither the priest nor the deacon confers the sacrament at a wedding. It's the couple themselves. So we are a witness in that particular case. But I don't think, the important thing is, of course, a deacon cannot hear confessions, cannot confer the sacrament. And so the priest is the one who takes care of that. Conferring any sacrament, a deacon doesn't confer sacraments. But he can teach and he can preach and help with various parts of the liturgy and so on. You see a deacons, well, there are deacons, there are permanent deacons here in town, various parishes. I don't know what parish you people belong to, but I know that Lake Oswego has one, St. John Fisher has one, I'm pretty sure. Those are the ones that I've heard recently that have deacons. But holy orders, and of course, the highest order is being ordained a bishop. So that's one more order above the priesthood. Or it's the final step, final stage of priesthood, I guess you might say. Another way of describing it. Oh, sure, you're most welcome.